Hey guys, let's see, bringing you another video. Now, welcome to another Patchnote video, and this would have been the first one in about 3 weeks. Riot had their midsummer break for a week where practically most of the company has the time off, including the balance team and all the people that do patch notes. So that is why the patch has been delayed. We knew this, by the way, at the beginning of the year. A lot of people, you know, if you ever like, when are patches? Legit Google Riot League of Legends patch days, and at the beginning of the season, they literally list when every single patch is going to be. So we knew that there was going to be a 3-week gap, even at the beginning of the year. Anyway, before I get into it, I just want to also quickly say, if I'm a bit blah all over the place or a bit tired, I am recording this the day after I've had the second jab. Overall, I'm fine. I'm just feeling a little bit drowsy, if anything. But other than that, I'm okay. I'm also, it might be a bit darker at the moment. I haven't put on the 2 backlights that I normally have on, just to save my eyes a little bit at the moment. So hopefully you don't mind. But I am planning to edit this, render this, upload this, do everything to get it out today as the second video. And if you do appreciate, please do throw a like on the video and comment your opinion on the patch. So I don't know anything about this patch, by the way. Because yeah, I purposely try not to keep up on PBE things, so I can be more like, oh, what's happening in the patch note in these videos. So the nerfs are Diana, Fiora, Lee Sin, Lulu. God, Lee Sin's getting nerfed again. Lulu, Tam Kench, that's obvious. Xin and Ziggs. There are, I would say, definite champions that are missing from that nerf list. Compared, you know, do I think Fiora is a problem? Not really. But she's getting nerfed compared to other champions that I definitely feel could be nerfed more than a Fiora. Buffs, however, Jarvan, Jhin, Maokai, Jhin getting a buff. Nunu, which is a bit of a weird one. We'll have to see what the buff is, but I think Nunu's fine. A lot of people, and, you know, controversial opinion incoming, a lot of people actually would say that, you know, whether you agree and you believe in it, the philosophy or not, that there are some ELO inflating champions. That if you mained a certain champion, you're going to be slightly inflated in rank. Nunu, I would say, is the most popular champion of that. So that if you're a Nunu main, you might be a slightly inflated rating-wise than you really should be. But again, I don't believe that per se. Nunu is definitely the most popular one when people talk about ELO inflated champions. Shaco, Severe, and then the really, really weird one, and I did know about this one, Vladimir Buff. Why the hell are they buffing Vladimir? Like, that is just bizarre. Like, Vladimir's fine. Like, adjusted Karma and Sona. We got system changes of Darkseal Redemption, and then we have the new skins that are Coven/Old God. And then they're available because everybody asks. If you look down here, literally August 12th, which is in tomorrow, practically, by the time this video comes out. So yeah, you'll be able to pick them up then. Also, if you wanted to look at the color grades of why things are getting nerfed, or so Riot says. So like Xin is getting nerfed because all levels of play, he's a problem. Where Ziggs, again, I'm pretty bad with colors because I'm colorblind, but that looks to be an average. If I, you know, match the color there, Ziggs is getting nerfed because average level of play, iron to gold, is a problem, I guess. Lee Sin is pro play, he's too strong in pro play, but a lot of these champions, they are problems everywhere. Lulu is elite play, but for the most part, most of the nerfs of these champions are everywhere. But again, I know it's Huzzy's salty opinion about Season 11, but where's Cat, Silas, all those? Silas's nerf was a buff last patch. And, you know, it is worth to say, you know, I saw a whole Reddit post about it earlier today, actually, of people going, you know, have you quit the game if you're a mage player? And a lot of people saying, yes, have quit the game. Riot officially said that they do know mages suck in Season 11. They have admitted it, but they're not doing anything about it until pre-Season 12. So it's not that far away, considering we're already in the 8th month of 2021. So we've got another, what, 2.5 months of the season-ish. But still, that's not great. And even if Riot admits that mages suck, then it is kind of a problem. Anyway, let's get into it. So Diana, nerf, strong champion. You can play her jungle, you can play her even mid probably still. But passive damage to non-epic monsters decrease. So this is a jungle nerf, and honestly, I think that's fine. Her passive, obviously, is every 3rd auto from memory. Does extra bonus magic damage around her in AoE. And all they're doing is taking that from 300% to 250% to non-epic monsters. So the little wolves, the little wraiths, or whatever they're called nowadays. It's just to slow down a jungle clear. That is fine. Fiora, again, I personally don't think Fiora's a problem champion. You do need to be pretty good at the champion to make it work. She's an all-in champion, so it can go very wrong if you don't make it work. But she is getting nerfed, however. And, I would say Fiora is definitely on the stronger side of if you have weak and strong. She's more strong than weak, but I don't think she's nerf-worthy, personally. Let me know what you guys think. But her E, which is... Again, the E is a strong ability, but it's not like Fiora. Her passive, the Q, and the ultimate, I guess, make up, and the W even. So it is maybe like the weaker of the abilities, but not an underestimated one. The good Fioras practically are probably going to make the E work more than anyone else. And that is being nerfed. And that is quite a big nerf. So in early lane phase, not that affected. It's in late game. So it used to be 11 seconds at rank 1. It's still 11 seconds. It used to go down to 5 seconds at rank 5. It's now 7. You might be like, it's the E. But, if you take a 15-second fight, and let's not use cooldown haste or whatever it's called at the moment, but let's just take a 15-second fight in late game. Is not a very long fight. That would, I'd say, it would be an average trade in top lane against a late game Fiora versus late game Aatrox. Before the nerf, a 15-second fight for Fiora, she'd get off E 3 times, Now, she's only getting that off 2 times. That is quite a nerf. That, if you're using the E well on cooldown to attack reset, that is nice. That is quite a big nerf. So that's all I would say. Is it needed? I would argue probably not. Compared to, especially when I say compared to other champions in the game, I really don't think Fiora should have been a priority for them to nerf. Anyway, Jarvan. Passive damage increased and R bonus damage ratio increased. So I like Jarvan, like I do. I've enjoyed playing him throughout the years. The problem with Jarvan is he does feel old. There are some champions in League that they feel the age. Like Lee Sin is pretty old nowadays. He doesn't feel his age. To me and to a lot of people in League, I think he feels still pretty modern because he has like layers of gameplay. The only layer of Jarvan in terms of mechanics and how to like advance to play Jarvan is like the flash extension of EQ. That's about it. So he does feel his age, which might lead people not just, even if he's in an okay place, they just might not pick Jarvan over Lee or over other champions. So there's that. But it obviously does depend how strong the champion is, and it is getting a buff. So it's 8% target's current health is now going to 10%. So if they're at 100% health, one Jarvan auto, bam, big 10% damage on their health. That's quite a lot. And then the R Cataclysm, 150% AD ratio is now 180, a 30% AD buff. Full AD Jarvan builds coming your way soon, most likely. With, Drakthar, Electrocute, all-in Assassin Jarvan. It does a lot of damage. Maybe people will play that. Maybe I'll play it. Maybe we'll give it a go. I don't know. But it's funny to see Jarvan's one-shotting people because you don't expect it. Jhin, one of my favourite ADs. I personally, again, Jhin is feeling lackluster. I disagree, but okay. This is the weird thing, is I've been playing Jhin every now and then. He's in my AD carry champion pool. Doesn't feel weak to me, especially with Gale Force is a thing. He's getting a buff. So the W is just going up in damage by 10 across all ranks, and then the ultimate is getting a buff. Minimum damage ratio was 20% AD. The minimum damage ratio is going up to 25% AD. Little buffs. So again, like I said, I actually think Jin's fine right now. So he's not getting big buffs. Are they needed? Probably not. But they're buffing him, which is a weird decision to me, but there's that. Karma. Oh, God. Passive on-hit cooldown reduction removed. Cooldown reduction from abilities now flat. Q... What are they doing to Karma? I had no idea that they're changing Karma to this extent. Q-based damage decreased early. Cooldown increased early but decreased later. Cost decreased. Q initial damage increased. And E-based shield increased later. Bonus movement speed now flat. Defiance now only grants allies bonus movement speed. So let's just actually read this. So Karma's been much stronger in coordinated pro play than solo queue for a while. Rather than continuing to make minor changes, we're attempting to make bigger ones to help Karma succeed in the hands of all players. To do so, we're targeting her consistent early game pressure and wave clear. She's basically a mage, obviously, in early game, and she has very high base damage. That is one thing with Karma. Pretty high base damage, not great scaling. That's always been the thing with Karma. Along with the RE shield and speed buff for her full team. In a return, we're rewarding her with more mantras when she lands abilities on champions. We're also, which will also help by her Q, lower cooldown and cost. We're also strengthening her RQ so that she will still be able to obliterate her foes when she's on her own. So they're not ruining mid Karma, even though she's mainly a support. So, cooldown reduction from abilities now 5 seconds, just part of her passive. The Q in a flame, again, 90 damage at level 1. That's good damage. It's going down to 70. So again, it's the same in late game, 270. So this is just an early game flat nerf, just to lessen the dominance of Karma in early game. Cooldown also is going up by a second as well, but it's cheaper. So it's doing less damage in the early. It's on cooldown more in the early, but it's cost cheaper. But then the second part to it, the Soul Flare, which is when you press R, then you Q. It's the kind of AoE thing. That is going up in damage. So it's trying to make you decide more that, you know, the Q is weaker, but it's stronger if you use your ultimate for it. But then on the flip side, that means you're not using your RE, your ultimate, then the E shield, which is going up. The shield is being increased in mid to late game. The movement speed is becoming flat, so this is a nerf because it's 40% at rank 1 up to 60% rank 5. It's now 40% flat. And then the Defiance buffs to nearby allied champions used to be 30% of the total shield amount plus and 100% bonus movement speed. It's still 30% of total shield amount, but only 30% bonus movement speed. So where Karmas would like ult and then shield everybody on her team in range, and they'd be really fast, that's a big nerf. So these are pretty big nerfs to Karma, I would say, on average. I don't think Karma players are going to be incredibly happy about this, I would say, but there's that. Lee Sin! I like the champ. He's in my pool, technically, and he's getting a nerf. The Omni Vamp has been decreased. That's fine. Again, healing is still broken in League, so even though Lee Sin's Omni Vamp was 10 up to 30%, it's still really strong. Like, 5% is more than enough to sustain you in the jungle nowadays, and it still gets to 25%. Yeah, that is completely fine. Healing is still busted. Lulu, W cooldown increased, R cooldown increased early. So again, Lulu being pretty pickle ban, I would say, for a support for a while. Doesn't mean you're going to auto win the game, but pretty popular. Whimsy, cooldown is going up by a second across the board, so just less use of Whimsy. And then the Wild Growth, her ultimate, is also going up by 10 seconds in the early game, then 5, then it's rank 3, level 16, it's the same. It's just making her a little bit less strong, mainly in the early game. I think that's fine. Again, you can literally see Cogmore Lulu's winning lane at like level 4 or 5, and especially level 6. You're like, you're supposed to be a late game hyper carry, and then they're winning lane. It's like, okay. So it's just being nerfed. Maokai. Okay, I was about to say, I'm guessing what they're doing with this is Maokai support has been a thing. A lot of people have been unhappy with it because all it is sapling, sapling, sapling. And it's really boring to play against. I'm guessing they're going to try and move him back to top. Literally the first sentence I read was, top Maokai has been struggling to stay in lane even with his tank build. So, yeah. The passive, which is the auto attack every now and then that he gets a heal, was 5 to 65, then plus 5 to 13% of his maximum health, depending on his level, etc. It's now flat is more apparent depending what level you are, and then your maximum health you can heal is going up on average. So it's starting at 7 where it was 5 before. It's a 2% buff across the ranks. That's a lot better sustain, but again, is Maokai's problem sustain? Again, yes, healing is still broken in League, as we've said. Sustain and even in top lane is still crazy. You know, a lot of inbuilt tanks, if you look at Tam Kench, if you look at Mundo, the two, I'd say, arguably meta tanks of top lane, they have insane sustain. Tam with his grey health shielding, and Mundo with his, it's Mundo, right, for sustain. Has so many features with it. And then if you're playing one of the other kind of meta top laners, the amount of healing that they just have in their kit from autos and everything is so high. So yeah, passive is going to help in top lane. And then what are they doing with this? The sapling toss. So the detonation damage of it by flat is going down. It used to be 0.8% ability power. Oh, sorry, plus 0.8 per 100 ability power. It's now 0.7, so nerf. Yeah. Oh, wow. So it's an ability power nerf. Yeah. So it's a flat damage nerf and an ability power ratio nerf. That's to nerf support Maokai. That's not going to help top lane Maokai, obviously. So the only thing that they've done here to like go, we want him to be in top, not support, is buff the passive auto by a little bit and nerf the damage of sapling. I'm going to be honest, that might not make him go back to top. Maybe, again, I haven't seen many support Maokais recently, but maybe support Maokai is dead, but that's not going to make him come to top either, so that's a bit rough for Maokai, I think. Nunu. Base movement speed increased. Oh god, does he really need that? And E damage ratio per snowball increased. Does he really need... Wait, what? Oh my god, I just saw what they're doing. Are they mad? So a 5% base movement speed for Nunu, who's already very fast with the snowball, so that's fantastic. Don't know why he needs that. And then the damage of E. Damage ratio per snowball was 66% ability power. It's now 10%. The bigger one, the total damage ratio was 54% ability power. It's now 90%. Is that really needed, Riot? Do we need AP Nunus running around? Has anybody asked for that? I don't know why. Mid lane Nunu could be back. Remember, that was a cheese pick for a while. Shaco. Whoa! Holy moly, that's being removed? Oh my god, that's a big buff for Shaco. The Q orange smoke VFX removed, and then he's getting bug fixes. He might not be getting buffs per se, like there's no stat increases here. The fact that his Q orange smoke is gone is huge, because so many times when I've played against Shaco, what has made me survive every single Shaco gank is that I see the orange smoke at the side of the lane. I'm like, oh, Shaco's here. That's going to be so big for Shaco. Shaco players must be jumping for joy. Holy, I don't know if I like that, but like, because I'm not a big fan of stealth in League of Legends. But that is huge for Shaco. Wow. And then the R is just getting 4 bug fixes. I'm not going to go through them, but I'm sure that also probably helps Shaco. Severe. W damage ratio increased later. So it does give her... Oh, that's pretty good, actually. 20% AD ratio buffed at rank 5. That's considerable, because Severe does kind of fall off in terms of, I would say, her auto attacks in late game. If she's pretty strong... and she's doing the lethality Q build, that will do okay damage, but her autos are lackluster, and the ricochet with it being an auto enhancer, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Sona. So, again, whether I want to go through this all, I'm not sure, because I'm not a Sona player at all. But basically, Sona is getting a mini rework. Again, there has been... I know some people won't like me saying this, but because there are big similarities between Sona and Seraphine, Seraphine, in essence... took Sona's spot. Like, in essence, like, Seraphine isn't a mid laner. I think that is by, you know, it's at the beginning, people are angry for you for saying that, but if you look at pick rates, Seraphine is just not a mid laner. Yes, there are some people still taking her mid, but they are building as a support in mid. She is a support. And because of Seraphine was a more modern version of Sona, you know, if you're just going to, if you like both champions, you're probably just going to go to Seraphine over Sona because she's more modern. That's the point. So they are giving a rework. So, in patch 10.4, our baby girl was given a mana refund mechanic to prevent oppressive playstyles. That wasn't a particularly fun mechanic, and sometimes it puts Sona in situations where she was punished for using her spells correctly. Like rotating around the map with E by herself. To fix this, we're replacing the mechanic with a new one, and it feels much more like a reward than a punishment. Now Sona has a stacking mechanic that rewards her for using some of her abilities, eventually giving her more access to her ult, and giving you those crescendo plays that will that you definitely never miss. I guess that's a joke because it is, you know, the whole meme about Sona is you're missing your ultimate. That is interesting. It does the ultimate does hit minions and monsters now, not just champions. But it no longer gives cooldown reduction here. Again, I'm not a big fan of Sona. I'm not going to play it. I'm not an enchanter. So if you yourself are really interested in this, all I would recommend, and I know people are, oh, you should go through it. With how I'm feeling right now, I'm just not going to go through it. I'd recommend, I'm sure there are amazing content creators that are support mains or enchanter mains, let's say, and I'm sure they're going to cover the Sona rework in detail way better than ever I'm going to right now. Because one, again, I'm just not interested in Sona. It's not a champion, as I said, I'm ever going to play. I don't play enchanters. So it's just not worth me really going into it. In essence, all of her spells are the same. She hasn't changed. They're just doing things within the abilities, and all the passives are slightly different here or there. That's in essence what they're doing. Tahm Kench nerf. Passive and Acquired Taste, the base damage of it is going down by minimum. So at level 1, it's going down. Less oppressive at level 1. And the heal of his Q is also going down, less sustained, but only by 5. So he's still going to do a lot of damage. He's still going to be really tanky. He still can dive you. He still has the utility of his W. Tahm Kench is still going to be fine. This is hardly a nerf. It's a bit of a nerf, but hardly a nerf. So he's going to be fine. The Vladimir buff, which is bizarre. Passive AP to bonus health conversion increased. Bonus health to AP increased. Their buffing is scaling? Oh, Jesus Christ. So again, a lot of people, if you buy ability power on Vlad, it gives you health. If you buy health on Vladimir, it gives you ability power. Pretty good for scaling, right? So the ability power to health conversion is, whoa, it's a big buff. 100%, it used to be 140%. It's now 160%. 20% buff, so you're going to be more health on Vlad. And then when you get health, you're getting, oh my god, that's even not a bad nerf. Sorry, a bad buff. That's a good buff too. You just get 2.5% health converted to ability power. It's now 3.3. That's again a pretty big buff. If you buy 1,000 health or whatever, like that's a bit more AP. God, the one thing that I would say that Riot didn't need to buff for Vladimir was his scaling. That's literally what one, like, there are some champs in League that are, you know, synonymous with scaling. Kog'Maw, Kayle, Kassadin, Vladimir. And they're buffing his scaling? He gonna be strong. So, you know, I said in the champion pool video, oh, like Vlad in top lane, he might be on the border. He's in the pool probably now. Jesus Christ. Xin. Attack damage from Xin level 1 is going down by 3, just to nerf him a bit in the early game. I'm fine with that. Like, you see Zin's fight people at level 2, level 3, probably due to his high rank 1 AD. So that will just tone that down a little bit. And then finally, I think, yeah, for champions, Ziggs and nerf, his mana is being buffed. What? Oh. So 420 used to be his mana. It's now 480. 60 mana. That's a lot of rank 1. And then the E, base damage per mine, is going down 10 across the board in the early game, but getting buffed in late game by 10. And then the slow, again, it's a lot slower in the early game, but it's the same in late game. So in essence, it's a slight... No, this isn't really a buff or a nerf. This is balance. He's got more mana, so he can Q you one more time maybe than he used to be able to. But his mine does a little bit less damage, and it slows you less in early game. So a little bit less oppressive, I'd say, for bot lane. Again, still in mid. You know, the reason why Ziggs has done okay in the mid lane meta, one of the mages that can, is because his mines do somewhat counter the melee meta. When you're against a Yone, Silas, Cat, whatever, they have to stand on your mines with a decent slow. You can run away. So that has been nerfed a little bit, but I think it's fine. I think Ziggs is still going to be good after this, which is good. I like Ziggs. Dark Seal. Very popular item at the moment. The AP per stack is going down by 1, and the stacks lost per death is going up. So a big nerf to this item across the board. It may make it where before a lot of AP mids... this was just an every game item. It's not supposed to be an every game item. It's supposed to be that high risk, high reward item that you're getting if you're doing well. It became just part of a normal item build nowadays because it was so cost effective. I think at 2 stacks, something like that. Like it was hardly a risk. Then finally, redemption for items. The heal is being buffed. It was 160 to 360. It's now 200 to 400, so a 40 buff across the board. And the cooldown is being buffed by 30 seconds. So it's a bigger heal and you can use it more. That's nice. Getting clash mode. Ranked updates. The new dodge penalty is coming. So if you dodge 3 times within a 12-hour period, or whatever it is, or 24-hour period. No, players that dodge 3 times within a 24-hour period have a 12-hour queue. So, don't dodge, I guess. Again, if you're wondering why they're doing that, I made a whole video about it a few weeks ago. In essence, it's to stop. There's only 1% of players, but there are 1% of players in high rating abuse dodges. I think Riot was the word. And I will say, and I'm not trying to be whatevers, it's the one trick community in high rating that they obviously are either good at their one champion or terrible at everything else. So they dodge a lot. There's players that dodge over 50 times a week. So Riot doesn't want that. Even Riot themselves in the article was like, we'd like the player base just to be more like play anything, not just one thing. So this is to punish that. I don't think it's going to do anything to the one-trick community, because I think just the one-trick community, they're just going to make Smurf accounts when they can't play on their main. So I don't really think it's going to fix anything. But, yeah. We also have a brand new Friends leaderboard, which is alright. Flex queue. Master and above flex players can no longer queue with flex players rated below platinum, probably to stop boosting to some degree, especially at the end of the season when boosting has and always will ramp up for the end of season rewards. Bug fixes, again, if you see your champion in there, maybe worth looking at. And then, yeah, the upcoming skins, which, again, COVID isn't really my style, but they look all right. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, can you throw me a like on it? That would be awesome. And yeah, give me your opinion. I still, as I've said, I think a couple times, I still think there's some champions missing from the nerfs and some missing probably from buffs, mainly mages. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.